Mr. Navil, now that Donald Trump is president-elect of the United States, what influence will this have on trade relations between Switzerland and the US?
Prima vista, no relationship, because the relationship between Switzerland and America has been great the last 24 years. 8 years Democrats, Clinton, 8 years Bush Republican, 8 years Obama Democrat. So there's no reason why anything should really change. Switzerland is a great investor in America. We're really on the good side. We're not taking jobs away, so we're not really confronted with massive protectionist actions, except if Donald Trump really starts a trade war with China, and then obviously global trade is going to be impacted, and then the Swiss company would also be impacted.
Would you say he already started this trade war with China by saying that TTIP will not come?
No, on the contrary. I mean, this is really a fantastic gift to China. China has an alternative project called RCEP, which is a free trade agreement between all the TTIP countries on the ASEAN side, plus India, plus China. So with TPP, the Chinese can say to all other Asian, you see what happens if you deal with America, deal with us, we are trustful, we are predictable, you can trade with us. And so this is really a great gift to China, and not in any kind of attack.
And don't you think that the Trump administration might change work permit regulation and stuff like this, which would really influence Swiss SMEs that are active in the US market?
We're all trying to figure out what's in the crystal ball. Nobody knows really what's happening. So we're all trying to figure out what he could do. Now, certainly he will be a bit more restrictive on working permits, but that's primarily on those elements that take away jobs for low qualified people. That's really not what the Swiss companies bring. And he will see a lot of pressure from companies like Apple and Boeing and Hewlett-Packard and all those tech companies to still allow a lot of people to come in that are highly qualified. So I expect any restriction that might come to lower qualified people and not to the higher qualified people that normally come from Switzerland.
Do you think that Donald Trump will put TTIP to an end?
It depends what you mean by an end. An end is a very relative thing. Clearly, it's not going to get negotiated in the next 12, 18, 24 months. But the basic economic policy reasons for TTIP, which is to not just have free trade, but to have all sorts of rules agreed upon on protection of consumer, protection of the employers, the employees, protection of nature, protection of intellectual property, protection of investment. All those rules that are not tariff rules but are non-tariff rules are very important to America and Europe, and only through a free trade agreement can you make sure that those rules will be adhered to. And so the reason for TTIP will still be here. I still expect something to happen in the next 3 to 8 years. It depends if Donald Trump comes around to some kind of negotiation. It's certainly not going to be called TTIP in the future. We'll have another name. But I still expect some kind of agreement between Europe and America, especially in light of the UK, which will probably have a relatively fast free trade agreement with America, and the EU will be even more forced to have some kind of equivalent agreement.
Do you think that the Trump administration might also have positive effects on Swiss-American trade relations?
A few things could happen, but again, we're really digging in the crystal ball. Nobody knows what's happening, but certainly on pharma, there could be some good development that the price control will certainly be out, but we're not sure about the volume. For banks, it could be good if Dodd-Frank gets reduced, Dodd-Frank, the banking regulation, but again, it's very unclear. On infrastructure, if there's really a big infrastructure project, a lot of Swiss companies might profit from this, especially those who are already invested in America and can comply with the Buy America rules. So there are some positive effects, but we just don't know what he's going to bring at this point.